In this video we are back with Find the Hammers for part 2. Thank you for choosing my video. If you do enjoy it, if you can help to support me by leaving it a like, dropping me a comment and of course hitting that subscribe button. So I just want to come out of spawn into kind of where the maps are. And I don't want to be mean because this game has got potential, but I'm not the biggest fan of the maps. There's a lot of running to do between, there's no sprint, the teleports are few and far between. The maps just feel a tad rushed. Now I know how much work goes into building maps, but they don't feel finished. It's almost like they've created one map and then gone on to the next and then gone on to the next, without that sort of completion, that level of detail that I like. It's absolutely fine to have different areas of the map, but it would be nice to have that polished professional look to them. But we're going to get on and start with Happy Hammer City. So this is sort of what I mean. There's like big blocks of buildings or something floating. I mean, the jail's alright, we've got the police officer outside, the missing poster. Nice bit of scripting to open up the bars to go ahead and get prisoner. But when I think about city, I'm thinking roads and pavements and other buildings. I don't know how you get on top of that building to get that teleport. I think that is a teleport, but I have no idea. So this is what I mean sort of about the polished, finished look. So I can just jump that wall to get in here. Again, I can jump the wall here. Now this is a nice little puzzle thing, so you have to push the blocks onto the relevant colour. Obviously on an iPad I have to go into first player and push it backwards. But look, then you open up the door that I've just jumped over, so what's the point? Like, do you see what I'm saying? I don't get the point. I've got that hammer by jumping over the wall. So that lovely puzzle is irrelevant. I don't get it. So very similar to this one. So again, I think this has got some kind of like puzzle to it. But you turn the power on and I'm assuming you've got to get the laser over. But again, they've left a gap in the wall that I can just scooch through. We've got a puzzle here. Again, I think it's to open up the door, but I've just fit through the wall to do that, so I'm not going to sit here and bother doing a puzzle that I've just gone through the wall to get in here. I don't know what this keyboard is. I'm assuming I've got to put in some kind of code or pattern. If this is for a hammer, I'm going to have to come back. I don't know what that is for. But do you see what I'm saying about that sort of polished look? We've got buildings hanging off the edge of the map. We've got a random dirt pool like in a city. Okay, we'll make it look like a swimming pool then. I like the floating hammers, but it just doesn't feel polished for me. And as I said, this game has got potential. I may have missed some hammers in some of these other areas. What I'm going to try and do is get around most of the maps, obviously, so part 3 will come at some point. And then I'll try and go ahead and get as many of the remaining hammers as I can. I'm pretty certain I'm not going to get all of them, but I will endeavour to try and get as many as possible. See, again, this has kind of got like a hotel or a house. You know, it's got the thing to the rooms, but again, it's like the dirt walls. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a house. It doesn't feel sort of like a building that would belong in a city. So it's all sort of like open walls. It doesn't feel sort of Not they'd be realistic in Roblox, but you know what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like an actual building. And then we've got a hammer book that I don't think does anything. So that building's a little bit confusing for me. So I have tried this puzzle. So it says figure the numbers out by going by 5 or add the numbers on the side then times by 5 to get the answer. So I added the numbers. I mean, there is a 35, there is a 30, a 25, a 20, a 15 and a 10. What am I doing wrong here? It's told me to add the numbers on the side and then figure it out with the sum, but it doesn't work. So you add them all together, you times it by 5, and it doesn't work. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I suck at maths. I know I suck at maths, but I can add these numbers together on a calculator and times them by 5. I'm not that bad. So yeah, this is going to have to be a hammer I am going to come back to. So we'll finish off just the remaining bit that I've done on the city. So the rock on the top, don't touch it, you'll get teleported into a rock area, but there's no hammers there yet, so the teleport kind of seems a little bit irrelevant. Again, it'd be nice to have just a little bit more furniture. It would hide some of the hammers that are here. I don't think you need that truss to super happy hammer. Oh my god, I'm going to get my teeth in. Because you can just jump up to it already. Climbing up this. Again, like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong with this. So I've jumped down. So we've got the broken window. That's really nice. There's no hammer, but I think this is a book for super nerd. I think. I haven't figured that one out yet. But then that's it. We've got this glowing window. So I didn't get anything then when I jumped up to it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. We have an obby here, but then it just finishes. So is there an invisible path? Am I being stupid? I don't know. I have to get to the apartment somehow, and this feels like the place that's going to have the apartment. So you kind of get to here and then that's it. So moving around to our next area, which I've called Backrooms 1, because there's actually 2 backrooms. So this is the Backrooms. It's right next door to Happy Hammer City. And again, like, I don't like the look of it. It doesn't feel polished. It feels very messy. You've got an obby to get here that you don't have to do because I've jumped straight over from the blue bit onto the actual Backrooms itself. So it's that, like, if you want people to do an obby, then don't put the building that close so I can jump it and I don't have to bother doing it. And it's a shame because they've obviously spent time to build that obby. I don't know if this should potentially be merged with their actual Backrooms realm. I don't know. And yes, I like the concept. You've got the truss and you've got the gap. Obviously, you can stand on the hammer to catch it. But then you can walk along the roof and just get into it. There's a gap. Like, oh, what is the point? I've just done that for no reason. I like the party room feel. That's really nice. But again, sort of like the inclusion of a stage, some speakers, some stuff on the walls, so it really does feel like a party room. There's a button here. But again, I'm going to show you a cheat. You don't need to bother with them because they've left a gap in the map. Like, if you're going to spend the time doing these puzzles, doing these challenges, we can't be leaving gaps in the map for people like me to cheat. And then I'm going to show everyone on YouTube how to cheat as well. So I don't know how you're supposed to get this one. I am too big and I can't fit. Unless you are a very small, very, very small avatar. I don't understand how you're supposed to get down in here. Again, like, you can cut out most of the obby because you can just jump straight to it. So do let me know how to get that one. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit it with my hand if I have the shift lock on. So just to show you, obviously you don't need to do that. I'll come and get brown in a moment. But again, we can just drop down into this room. Here we find hammer 56. We also have the button, but you don't need that because I'm going to show you how to get into the room without the buttons. Don't ask me how I'm supposed to do that one. The vertical incline and then the gap in the kill bricks. I think that's only possible if you have a flying carpet. Don't need to bother doing the obby, like I said. Just jump onto the roof, go up the truss, and you can get brown. So I'm not going to bother with that one. Inside of this little area here, you pick up a key for the same place that I've already been, just by going through the hole in the wall. So what's the point? And then for the one that you need the buttons for, if you run along the roof and then come underneath the map here, hello, what is this gap? You don't even need to bother. So just turn and then drop into the gap and ta-da! So this is what I mean around the map, like, and spending that time and making sure that it's right and it's sort of polished and finished. So moving around into snow now. So I am starting to feel a bit more snow with sort of the candy canes, the Christmas tree. But again, it's not the best snow map I've ever seen. Again, we've got like a really easy ramp up to Santa. You could have made that harder and had like an invisible obby or something to have Santa's sleigh kind of flying a bit higher. There's another one of these weird portal things I don't know how to get to. Again, there's another hole in the roof here to go ahead and get cheese hammer. But then there's another entrance as well. I don't know what that blue block is for. I need to go and read the hints in the index, but I'm sure that's got something to do with the hammer. I don't know if it's the stud one. No idea. It's like the purple block from the last video. I still haven't figured out what that is either. And I thought, oh, it's going to be something there. No, it's just another entrance in. I don't know what those blocks are for. They kind of look like licorice all sorts. So here in the UK you have licorice all sorts that look like that. They're the horrible sandwich ones that I don't like. But that's what it's reminding me of. Or maybe like a square macaron, I don't know. So no idea how to get to that teleport. Again, is it flying carpet time? I don't know. think the keys are for the Easter hammer, but again, I haven't found them all, so I'm not going to bother doing that one at the moment. I'll pick it up in the next part. There may be a part 5 to this game. There seems to be sort of daily updates to it, so I'm always behind in the areas. So I will apologise now if some hammers have been added to the maps I've already covered and I may have missed them. So climbing up the massive candy cane and we get marker hammer. Now I'm pretty certain that that cabin would have collapsed under the colossal weight of that candy cane. We have a hammer underneath here and I don't know how I've managed to unlock it, but I did the obby here and I've managed to unlock it, so I don't know what I've done. I think it may be the button on the side, I'm not sure. But let's get into it. Now I'm quite thankful that this isn't proper ice and it's not slippy, or else I don't think I would have been able to do this obby, especially with this little knife edge bit. I hate these kind of obbies. And again, you don't need to go all the way around because the way that the obby's set up, you can literally just jump and get on this little bit on the front. Now I didn't know that you could climb truss like that. I have learned something new today. At the top we have ice pool. We have another one of those weird purple bricks that I don't know what it's for. I will, as I said, have to figure it out. So is this the button that you need to break open? But then if you see, I've already kind of sorted it, so I don't know. But we've got frozen, I think that's supposed to be frozen. I'm not sure if English is their first language because there's quite a few spelling mistakes in English in the index. But it's fine, I get what they mean. So this is one of the updates that I've managed to pick up whilst I was doing the video. So you'll see this was empty originally, but now pancake is here. Again, like, why isn't that on a table? Sort of thing. I don't know, it feels a bit weird just being stuck out in the middle of snow. But moving round now into Blocky, which is the next section down, so you can see snow there. There would have been a point I would have hated doing this because I wasn't any good at head hitters, but I've kind of got them down now on the iPad. They're not too bad. I don't know why that one's intense. Maybe if there was like 100 floors, then obviously I'd understand it being intense. That sort of cave thing there is how you teleport over to the other side. We will go over there in a moment. The button here will get you across to this hammer, but again you can cheat because of how they've built the map. So all the coloured buttons around Blocky put those pathway over to that one. You don't have to put a code in, you just walk straight in. Didn't fool me with that troll. So just be careful not to jump and actually get teleported to the moon. But if you stand on this rock, you can just jump over to go and get true hammer. You don't need to get the buttons. So if you want people to do the buttons, don't let them have cheats so that they don't have to. So where you've got that start of that blue path there, there's actually a continued invisible path with breaks, so you have to try and find your way. But I will show you how to get there as a cheat. Again, we've got another button, but I'm not sure what all these buttons do. I'm just sort of going around and pressing them. The progress doesn't stay, so obviously if you do leave, you're going to have to go back and then click them all. So when I figure out which hammers I'm missing and what the buttons are for, I'll come back and do those. So I managed to hit Skyrider, but I don't like the fact that you put a trampoline in which then kills you. So let's go and cheat and get the one over the invisible path, and this is where having the double jump really helps because it enables you to do this. So there is the platform where the one is with the invisible path. I'm not sure if you can just jump round with the double jump. I didn't try it, but obviously if you wall hop up, there we go, and then you just drop down. It's so easy. Work smarter, not harder. I don't know about that one up above. I'm gonna have to come back and figure that one out. It says click to move hammer, but then I can't move it. I have clicked it and it's not doing anything. I'm not sure if I'm not close enough or if there's an invisible like truss. I don't know. As I said, I will figure that one out. And then of course you're teleported over to this area, and like you've got a key for something, but then you've got this cave, and again, like it's massive. There's no sprint. You've got to run all the way over here. There's 2 hammers I think over here, but it just feels really unfinished. I haven't figured out the massive wizard either yet. So don't step in any of the liquid because it will kill you. And just remember, if you die and you go to the dream world, which is sort of the grey area, just reset and it will bring you back to the normal spawn, or try the teleport. So the first one over here is the hammer boss battle. Thank God it's not actually a boss battle. So the only other one that we've got here is in the lamp. So just there. Unless you've got a flying carpet, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get at this one. So I've tried a few areas, I've gone around the back, I've tried to see if I'm missing a path or a truss or something to get up there, but I just haven't got enough to get over there, so I'm gonna have to leave that one for a bit and try and figure out how to get it. But you can see there's just no avenue that I can see to actually get up there. So back to Blocky. Again, that's one of the buttons for true hammer that you don't technically need. That feels like it should be a portal or a door or a teleport or something, but it doesn't do anything at the moment. Again, we've got another one of those purple things. Another button for true hammer. And then we've got a nice little teleport over here for the secret one. Again, nice little lobby. This I don't mind, I like the teleport over. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do this in the first attempt. But you'll notice that my purple block, when I died, it got stuck where I died, so I don't know if that's a glitch. It does do it for other items that I've collected and then died. They stay where you die. And then of course it's guess which one is the right hammer. I don't know what that big light box is, if that's a room or something, I don't know. But again, it just feels a bit of a shame that it's right on top of this obby. Again, the table's slightly out of place a little bit. So again, I've just caught a new one that is been included in this area, and it's the pie one. Not pie as in like pie you eat, pie as in the maths one. So it says look for the symbol. Now, I would have hidden that potentially a bit better. It says look for the secret pie symbol, click it, and then it'll open the door. I would have potentially put it like a really small one on the table leg to make people really look. But going in now, and we have found the pie symbol hammer. Again, that's not intense. It's really obvious on the table. We have noodle bowl. It doesn't really look like a hammer though, and then pizza's not bad, it looks like a hammer, and I love the little gingerbread one. That is probably one of my favourite ones. I love the kind of little grin on it. So it says to collect 5 studs to get stud hammer. Again, I don't think I've found them. I haven't collected anything that looked like a stud. Again, nice and easy obby because they put the path so you can just jump from side and round the wall. But we get fake gun hammer. Into the area that I call Backrooms 2. So this is actually a teleport to a realm. See, again, I don't know if they're supposed to spell Backrooms like that, but it's not right. And this is the Backrooms that we know and love. This is one we've been in time and time again. So there are only 3 hammers here. So I don't know how you're supposed to get this kind of 3-headed with a hammer on the ceiling. I think I may need a friend to stand on their head and then jump. That, or if you purchase a flying carpet, I don't know. I'm trying to find a truss, I'm trying to find a way up, but I couldn't find anything. And then that's it. So this is what I mean about potentially merging in the other back rooms with this one. So you could have had sort of the party room here, or had like a veiled entrance into the party room, and then just had the one back rooms. It also means there's more hammers down here. So we're going to go back to Blocky now. So I've just put this as Blocky 2. And this is the section that's next to where the Backrooms is. So again, with the double jump, this is not difficult. So super simple. I am definitely not a noob. We've got that extreme one, nice and easy. But this is what I mean when I say sort of the map's very empty. I think that's the true hammer, but I'm not certain. There is a hammer in the clue that says about the test tube, but I'm yet to find that one, so I know I am missing a couple from Blocky. We've picked up something that's pretty random. I don't know what that is for. Again, with these items, I'm going to have to come back once I know which hammers I'm missing. Again, sort of king, like maybe like a nicer castle. You know, you could have had a whole fairy tale section. You know, then you can bring in princess, joker, all that lot, dragon. And that would sit quite nicely next door to the garden, which we haven't done yet, but I have seen. Again, don't know what that button's for. It's one of those scenarios I'm finding buttons and items and I just don't have a clue. I don't know what that area is for with the radio on top of it. I'm not sure if that's coming soon or if there's buttons or something to go inside. I couldn't see anything, but I don't know until I've finished and I can see what hammers I'm missing. Climbing up the massive crane. We'll just try that again. So see the little white block there? I love that. I love that little hidden teleport. That's a little gem. And then we come into this troll area. And yes, granted, it took me a couple of attempts to find my way through. I love the fact that it's a checkpoint back. I don't have to then climb it all over again. That's a nice touch. But just a case of following me over the blocks and we can go ahead and get the troll phase. That's not the hardest troll phase I've ever seen, so I was quite glad that was reasonably easy. If you've played stuff like Find the Cheeses, where I've had to use Cheat Academy with bats, there's absolutely no way I ever would have found troll phase by myself. And then just climbing back up and we're getting one on the wrecking ball. So there is actually Cloud on that trampoline as well as Skyrider. I've tried to get it, but I can't get on that platform because the trampoline throws you up and then kills you. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get Cloud and I'll get back on that one in the next part. So moving around now to the next area, which is the big computer. Again, I don't sort of understand this area with the sort of purple and then the rainbow. And then coming inside we find black hole. Now when I think black hole, I'm thinking space. So again, like, that just feels a little bit misplaced. You could have had a space area with sort of the planet hammers and sun hammer, and then black hole could have been there. We have the lanky box specials. I kind of like the way they're drawn. I like my hammer more, but I do quite like the Justin one and the lanky box ones. They're quite funny. And again, I think they've missed a trick with the big computer to actually have more of a cyber area. So this could be the teleport into the actual realm. And then you could sort of go into the cyber, neon, you know, hard drive. I know we've got computer cube, but there's so much more in terms of computers, you know, motherboard, hammer. Hacker hammer could have been there rather than where it was. So a few new ones have been added around spawn, which I've picked up. We've had another one of these massive radio things dropped right in the middle of the map, which kind of spoils it. I don't know why it's there. You're also covering the cabin. Not covering my hammer at least, so it's fine. But it just feels a little bit out of place. Again, we've got sort of this massive box here, and this is for the water wing one. I don't know, like, I think maybe a drop down would have been aesthetically nicer rather than this massive cube. But what you need to put in is / a water wing guard, and then this will open up the door for you. That, or imagine like having a whoosh of water come up when you put the code in, and then it kind of pushed you up to water wing god, like proper godly like. So I didn't realise this little circle was a swamp because it doesn't look like a swamp. I know Shrek's there. But again, this is where I said you could have gone to town with the actual kind of styling of the map. You could have had Shrek's home, at least made it look a little bit like a swamp. We have the 1.5k visit hammer, so well done for getting the 1,500 visits. I still haven't figured out how to get the difficulty chart, so I'm going to have to come back to that one, I'm afraid. Just having another look at my hammer. If you are a JudgementTV fan, don't forget to come and get my 7th game character here in Find the Hammers. So we've got another code door, and like, oh, my heart sank because I haven't figured out the alalal one. So I was like, oh, okay, well there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I was trying to think, they're all looking like this water one. So I did legitimately try and do this properly. There's also a button on the side of the box here, so I did try. I thought it was all 6s, but it didn't work. But if you jump with the double jump onto the keypad, you can get onto the roof and get in. So just another cheat where obviously they haven't really thought about the map and kind of like how you can cheat this. And then again, it's just a case of finding the right picture. Which of course is going to be in the very end pool there on the wall. And that is uber secret found. And that is not terrifying. That was actually quite easy when you can cheat. So I still have candy, I still have lava, and garden. So there's quite a few areas I still have to complete, which I will come back and do in a part 3. So again, I figured out how to get teamwork by yourself, so you don't need anybody. So double jump over and then just wall hop up with that double jump, and it will give you teamwork. Team of 1, go JudgementTV. So there we have it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Part 3 will come soon, and I'll see you in my next video.